Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Unmasked. I hope you guys are good and I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. Yo, guys, like my recordings have been getting cut because of space. So now I actually don't know if I have space or not, but I hope I do. But today I want to talk about being comfortable with being uncomfortable, which is literally something that I'm trying to exercise right now. But unmasking involves being uncomfortable a lot of the time, and I think just really accepting that that's going to be a huge part of the journey is like one way to start it. um, so yeah, what I want to share, I just made like a list of just a few things. It's going to be a short one, um, which are like how I am maneuvering or navigating this discomfort, or like the discomfort that does come with unmasking. And the first thing that I would say is creating space where you can allow yourself to be open and honest with yourself. And in this space, like there cannot be any judgment, only listening and observing, because we don't want to shame ourselves, and we're not there just nitpicking things that we don't like about ourselves. It's just being honest, that you love certain things, appreciating yourself, but then also like looking at the parts of yourself that you're trying to work on, or whatever it is that you're actually just feeling um, at that point in time. It's not like one of those reflections where you're trying to see how far you've come and whatever. No, it's just you being able to be your own friend, and be someone that you can be open and honest with without feeling like you're going to be shamed or you have to hide anything. And so for me, honestly, like being honest with myself has made me feel safer within myself, and it's also helped me to actually like form a relationship with myself. And I really just mean like I can be my own friend for real, because I can also be my biggest critic, and that works for me in certain instances, but not all the time. Like sometimes it's really detrimental to my health because the expectations that I have set are like crazy, and yeah, I think also just like deepening this connection. That's what being honest with myself has done for me. It's deepened the connection that I have with myself, because whenever I take the time to really just like come back to myself, I know that I can just be. The only requirement is for me to just be, no matter what that looks like. So I'm not going to shame myself, and yeah. And I think that has been the greatest gift that I've given myself in this unmasking journey, because I've been able to unmask so many things just in that, and I think also allowing myself to be is what has allowed me to show up authentically. And then I'm so used to just being myself that like even in the connections that I have in my life, I can show up authentically and I can actually communicate things that are like usually very uncomfortable. I can still have those conversations with those people from a place of respect and a place of love, and it's reciprocated, because I don't know, I've become more intentional about how I choose to spend my time, who I choose to spend my time with, how I communicate, and also being honest with myself allows me to recognize when I'm wrong, and sometimes it's not easy, dude, when someone is telling you your nabas, like, this is how you hurt me, or I didn't like this and that, but I'm navigating through it, and it's all like teaching me something. I can learn a lot about myself and also the people that I interact with, because just because you feel like you do things a certain way and they work for you doesn't mean it works for the next person. And I think that's why it's important to communicate, and sometimes communicating can be so uncomfortable, and it's not even because of the conversation that's being had, but it's just because it's very unfamiliar territory. And I think once we actually start to communicate and have that conversation, we realize and we're heard, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad, and it's quite encouraging for the rest of us. Someone just blew kisses to me. I think it's Tabito. I hope it is, because if not, well, anyway, that girl just blew me kisses. What else? Yes, okay. Also, being intentional about creating a safe and peaceful space around me. That is something that can be very uncomfortable, because sometimes you're having a moment and then someone comes and they wanna, and you just really you can't handle that. But you have to be kind in the way that you express it. Like, right now you just need space for yourself. And I think that's being kind to them and also being kind to yourself, because A, you're being honest, and B, you're giving yourself the space that you need, in that time. Maybe your energy is low and you just don't have the capacity to hold space for someone else. And B, at least when that person is with you, they know that you're present, unlike just allowing them to be there, but then you're just like ignoring them or resenting just every moment. Yeah, and then the last thing I'd say is, like, don't cringe at yourself. Don't cringe at like past behaviors or past mistakes. Just find the lesson and move on. Like, if you are always cringing at the mistakes that you make, you're going to get to a point where you don't want to make any mistakes because you're too cool to do that. And we all mess up. I think I was actually talking to someone a few weeks ago, and not a few weeks ago, I think it was last week, and he was just saying how, like, so he is in his first year, and he was saying how he really wishes he had a year just to mess up and then like get going. And I was like, dude, there is no year to mess up, because you actually just realize that we're always messing up, and you just have to like pick up and go, like learn the lessons and keep moving. And I think like listening to that person inside of you that cringes is just like something that's always going to hold you back, because you don't allow yourself to be a beginner, you don't allow yourself to fail, you don't allow yourself just to look stupid sometimes. And I mean, it does like, it's not like you're going to intentionally go out there and try to look stupid, but when it does happen, you can recover quicker than someone who's sitting there and just shaming themselves, because now you are someone who understands that whatever happened for whatever reason, because you've already found the lesson, because that's just something that you do. And these days we're so like bombarded with information. I don't know if I watched a YouTube video, or read a post on Instagram, but like one of those things, and someone was just saying that they are killing the part of them that cringes. And I've just been saying that ever since, because I don't want to stop being cringe. Obviously I want to stop being cringe, but the things that you find cringe are not necessarily cringe all the time. I just want to not cringe at myself for trying, and I think just having that realization really liberated me, because I just gave myself that room to be a beginner. I know that I don't have all the answers, I don't have it all figured out, but I'm willing to show up. And yeah. Yo, guys, actually, now that I've reached the end of my ramble, I'm sorry for speaking so fast. Like, I think I was just being a bit nervous with my space thing, so I just keep thinking it's gonna cut. So I've been trying to get through everything as quickly as possible. But yeah, in the last video I posted, I mentioned that thing about the bones, and now I can't find that little book. I'm gonna find the book and I'm gonna post the thing. But essentially, the 4 bones, I think there were 4, it was the wishbone, the jawbone, the knuckle bone, and the backbone. And I asked which bone you guys think you're. Only one person, shout out to her, love you, responded to that, and she's a backbone. And I'm like, you are a backbone because you're the only person who showed up. Anyway, I'm gonna post it. Basically, the wishbone is someone who is a wishful thinker, someone who always wishes that they want this. I wish this could happen, and I wish that could happen. That's a wishbone. And a jawbone is someone who talks, but there's no action. And then a knuckle bone is someone who's always knocking down those people who are trying. And then a backbone is someone who actually just stands up and stands on business, gets things done. And honestly, I feel like I've moved from being a wishbone to a jawbone and sometimes a backbone. And yeah, I just feel like whenever I do things halfway, it makes me feel like a wishbone, jawbone. And then when I actually get things done, I feel like such a backbone. But I will find the book and I'll post it. Thank you guys so much if you have listened up until the end, and if you're returning, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you guys really enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave a comment. What else? Please share. And let me know, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. And yes, thank you so much for spending this time with me.